It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Magical day to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this absolutely magical, robust lifestyle show. I would first like to thank each one of our listeners that is listening to this podcast on the numerous different platforms. I am just so very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And as I said, you are all in for one magical show today, as I have with me my returning amazing diva, Ann Klossing. And her and I are going to chat about scattered. Oh my, how many of us feel scattered in this world today? So with that, Ann, could you briefly introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
I would absolutely take that invitation. My name is Ann Klossing. And I apologize for my crackles. It's Midwest here, and corn is pollinating. We're on the tail end of that. Goldenrod is starting. And of course, my allergies are kicking in. So I apologize for that. But I am a channeler of creator energy. I am an intuitive guide. And I'm also an author and working on my books. And I just love and light up when I work with individuals and connecting them with their souls so that they can solve their own life's problems.
I love that. And how this topic just fits in to what you do on a daily basis to help make the world a better place, connecting with individuals to find their inner soul. And when you're feeling scattered like that, I sometimes feel that is where we need to go, is inside to find those answers. So that was my little take I wanted to say from your introduction. And with that, how would you like to start to open this up to our listeners today?
I'd just like to invite them into their feelings. What are you feeling? And do so without judgment. And the common theme with some of my clients is scattered. And it's an array of emotions, anywhere from uncertainty, doubt, imposter syndrome, and throw some angry or frustration in. And I've seen where the common theme is, I will call us seasoned women. The seasoned women who have raised our kids and they're out of the nest egg, raising families of their own. And this goes true for men as well. I've been working with a couple that are feeling the same thing. And all of a sudden, it's like, I should be happy with my life. I have beautiful family. I have grandkids. The list goes on and on. So why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And this is a question that is going to be answered from within, going within to your heart space, ignoring the outside world. And I try to do that on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And when I channel, the term scattered comes about. And when I channel, the answer that I get is that the entire world is ascending. And you believe what you want to believe. And you don't have to believe what I'm saying. But I believe in this creator is just massive, bigger than you could possibly imagine. And that all the personalities that are underneath that are part of that creator. It's that expression of the creator. So when I channel, it is the angelic realm. It's the archangels. It's ascended masters. It may be my spiritual team. It may be past lives of mine that come through. So it's this collective that they call themselves we. And what we has come through on some of my live channels. I do live channels every Friday on Facebook. And I welcome you to that. And those are free. I just go on every Friday morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard. But the common theme is Ignore what's going on around you. Be aware of it. Make your decisions, but don't become part of the chaos.
Mhm.
And the chaos that is going on around us is one of those attributing factors of why we feel scattered. COVID, when everything was shut down, allowed Mother Earth to regenerate. And she is ascending, she is changing. And this is not a bad thing. And I know there's individuals that freak out about global warming, but this is all part of her regeneration. She's fine. She is ascending, and the human race hasn't ascended with her. That is why we feel scattered, we feel torn, sad, bereaved, burdened. The list goes on, whatever it is for you. So spirit comes through and says, okay, all those things are level of fact, but that does not mean that you have to become those energies. There's no better time to live than now. And there's no better time to discover your what's next. So you've experienced being a mom, you've experienced being a dad, now you're experiencing being a grandparent, whatever it is for you, your what's next. So part of feeling scattered is the soul's call. Think of it as when you were a child and you were shaking your mom or dad's leg, mom, mom, mommy, daddy, daddy, shaking their leg, trying to get their attention. You're at the fair, you're excited. I want that toy and that game over there. Your soul is shaking you, saying, what's next? Join me, come find me, seek me out. That's what that is. And it could be utterly terrifying for some people, or it can be blissful, or it can be a combination of all of the above. So for me to speak confidently today, I had to go through the layers of emotions. And it didn't take me a day or 2 days. It's taken me years. So when my soul started shaking me up, I was in my early 40s. And I am now 57. So I didn't get here overnight. Baby steps. The call of the soul is going to your heart space and discovering and listening. And things will happen. But are you going to sit and say, this is happening to me? Or is it happening for me? And Joyce has gotten to know me personally. So I've had a few challenges lately. One was my beloved partner is a dairy farmer. He went in for surgery on July 2nd for shoulder repair. A week later, we found ourselves in ER, and he had pulmonary embolism, both lungs totally filled with blood clots, scared the bejesus out of both of us. And I went into old Anne. I went into the old me. Mm-hmm. So think of it as you are not the same person as when you were 5. You are not the same person as when you were 10, 15, 20, whatever. So me shedding all these layers, when that event happened again, and I say again because we danced to Dance with Cancer with him in 2021, I went back to the old Anne. I went back 10 years, went down that rabbit hole, and wanted to feel sorry for myself because my life is on hold. This is a burden. And it was not him. I was not blaming him at all. I was blaming life. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say, God, this is all your fault. What the hell am I doing wrong? We turn it in on ourselves, or at least I do. I turned it back in on myself. It's my fault because the law of attraction. I must have attracted this. Why did this why did it come to me? Why is this happening? So on your ascension journey, you gain wisdom, but sometimes that old ego takes that wisdom and spins it around and uses it against you. And it's sorting through all that and what is truth and what is not. And the quickest way to stop that is to stop thinking in your head, stop using your mind, become still and quiet and breathe and take your attention from your mind, from your head, and you move that focal point down into your heart. And when I work with my clients, I create, it's a heart meditation. And what we do is we create a room, and this is your sacred space. And you can change your sacred space. So my sacred space, my meditation room, when I want answers, because my mind can't sort through them, I create and I go to my heart space and I open the doors to my heart. And inside is this lovely little cottage with wingback chairs and a fireplace. And off to my right is this wonderful classroom with a podium and the old school chalkboard. And then past the chalkboard is this magical lane that takes me usually to the higher realms. And when that comes in, it's like, oh boy, now I've got a lesson coming. But I love to journey meditate. And when you can create that heart space, whatever it is for you, and go back to that meditation, show me, spirit, show me. And you can make it a magical screen that you pull down and you get to sit and watch the movie. Or maybe it is that chalkboard where the magic chalk comes out and you'll see a message on the board, whatever it is for you. And you create that space and you go back to that place. And don't ask the poor me questions. Spirit, I am not understanding. I have the inability up until now to see clearly. Please show me with clarity so that I may understand and take my next step forward. And it might not come in, or right away, it could be when you're out walking, or you're driving to work, or you're driving to the grocery store, you're standing there doing dishes, and all of a sudden that screen pops down and ta-da, you have your aha moment. It's like, oh my goodness, that's what it was. Or I like to use this one too. This was from Mary Morrissey, a student of her. It was a woman and a son. She had a health issue. And maybe I've told the story, I don't remember, but you're going to hear it again. And it was a mother-son team. She had some health issues, and the procedure that she needed was going to cost $6,000, and she didn't have $6,000 at that time. So they used Mary's brainstorming sourcing technique. And one of the things that came out was look behind the couch. So she thought it was ridiculous, but her son insisted, write it down, Mom. And then they kept sourcing and they had all these lists. And then they went back to it, came back to it and said, look behind the couch. So her son went, moved the couch, and here behind the couch was a concert t-shirt, pristine in its package, never opened. He took it to whoever deals with shirts, concert shirts. It was worth $8,000.
Oh my word.
It was worth $8,000. So $2,000 more than the procedure was going to cost her. So when spirit comes to you, everybody is clear something. And we have all of them. It's just you might be more in tune to clear audio where you hear them. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you're visual and you see it, or you feel it. You're clear tactile, or you're clear cognizant, which is knowing. So you may be gifted in one of them or all of them. You still have all of the clairs. It's just you're going to be in tuned more to one or two or three, or maybe even all of them. So it's pretty cool. So I think I'm tactile, I'm audio, and I'm cognizant. So I'll have a knowing. Mm-hmm. And I think that helps me with the ability to bring down information. It's one of the things that, when I channel, I can do that. So it's pretty cool. But everybody channels. So, and when you channel, it's like, well, I can't channel. I've never done. Yes, you can. When you become lost in whatever it is you're doing that absolutely brings you bliss and joy, you are channeling. So if you're a painter and you become lost in your painting, or you're a writer and you become lost in your writing, you're channeling. Or if you sit in nature and you totally become lost in time, you're absorbed with spirit. It's such a level that is amazing. So this feeling of scattered is the good news. It's what is causing this scattered feeling within me? And that is the perfect question to ask your body and ask your spirit. Go into your heart space, go into this classroom or whatever, maybe it's a mountainside or a beach for you that's in your heart that you go to. What is within me that's causing this scattered emotion? When we get into how do I do this or why, it puts us more in that victim mode.
Mm-hmm.
So empower yourself, empower your questions. What's next? I'm a little challenged with seeing clearly. Can you bring this situation clarity, whatever that situation is for you? Going back to those words are such a powerful, powerful tool.
Oh my. And you have touched, I've been writing notes as you've been chatting, and I'm like, oh my goodness. It is just so, so true. I love how you started out about your feelings or your emotions. Recognize them without judgment. Because too many times I think I know myself, I'm judging it. I'm judging, I shouldn't be feeling this way. And no, I feel I need to let that flow because so many times my getting away is out in nature with my little dog. Her and I go down to the creek and the trees and just be out there. And so many times I've heard the angels say, just let it flow out. Just let it flow like the creek flows, and let those troubles just flow down with the water, and let your feelings, let them out. And I know my horses have said, just let the tears flow. And you have to recognize those emotions and not judge them from a ego perspective, saying I shouldn't feel that way. But for me, to let them flow out and let those feelings come out.
And how many times when you were a child did you have a person, either a parent or an authority figure, tell you not to feel that way?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
those are all paradigms that we store at deep levels within us. And that's been a challenge for me as well. Really feeling angry. I just stayed in it a little too long with this last experience. How long? And that is something I learned from Mary Morrissey as well, is how long are you willing to stay there? How long are you willing to grieve? How long are you willing to blame? How long are you going to stay angry at that person?
Yeah.
And the thing is that we're not doing anything to that person.
No.
We're doing it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yes. We are the ones suffering so much. And when you said that about how many times did people tell you, oh, you shouldn't feel that way, or just get over it. You shouldn't have that feeling.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Get over it.
classic.
And I'm like, no, I need to deal with this. I need to recognize it. And then in the next breath, only don't dwell on it day after day after day where it festers inside of you. And I think that's where the angelic forms say, just let it flow out.
You can always ask the question to the emotion as if it were a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're feeling is real.
Yeah,
no
it
matter
is.
what the emotion is, it's definitely real to you. So treat it like a being. And okay, grief, what do I have to learn from you? What is in this experience that I have to learn, that I need to learn, not have to? It's that what question again.
Exactly. Asking what, and asking, even for me, it's asking the spirit world, the angels, however you want to say it. What am I needing to learn from this? What are the words I need to be hearing today to help me work through this? And so many times it's just like I pull cards. I have a deck of oracle cards that I pull every day. And it just kind of went along today with what we're talking about, awareness, just being aware of what is around you, and then balance, and then balancing it all out and being in balance with yourself. And when you were talking, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's why those cards were pulled today. It just kind of all came in to what we are talking about.
Right. Excellent.
And going
There's
to
so
your
many
heart
tools.
space. Yes, there are so many tools. And when you talk about going to your heart space, that's been my mantra for the year. Live from the heart with my angels and spirits as my guides. And for me, that is so helpful to go back to that and go to my heart.
When things started to settle down after Lynn's health episode and we kind of got into the groove of it, and I got past the shock and awe of, a CNA level of care for him, I was able to get back into meditation. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't doing anything. It was like I just dropped my life. I dropped it, and then I could see the anger starting to flare. And the anger wasn't, like I said, it wasn't at him. It was, my goodness, I would not want to be someone who has dementia without a confidant, without a partner or a son or a daughter that could be with me at those appointments, because you need an advocate. You need to be your own advocate for your health, but it's always his doctors, we both go because what he isn't here, I hear, and vice versa.
Yes.
So it's that teaming up with it. And it's like we had such a plethora of doctors that I had to be that advocate. It was like they totally dismissed he had shoulder surgery. And I had to stand up and say, you can't lay him flat. He just had surgery. You cannot lay him flat. And it was all of that frustration that came out. And when I finally had the time to sit down and do what I do for others, and I did it for myself, it was what Spirit told me was going down the rabbit hole was nonsense. So what I was doing was repeating an old paradigm, an old pattern of thought. To them, it's nonsense, ... But there is purpose in repeating it because it gives you another opportunity to learn. It gives you that opportunity to change. So when you become aware of it, there is your opportunity. And then you discern and you decide, do I keep it or do I let it go? And that takes practice, that gets into mastery. In ascended masters, an ascended master will look at you and I as equals. They're just very practiced at universal law and how it works. And they're so based in love and without condition that it's beautiful to work with that type of person, because we have ascended masters on earth, and those are our teachers. The Jack Canfields of the world, the Mary Morrisseys, the Tony Robbins, the list goes on and on and on and on. And those people are so centered that they do not allow others to influence them. And they truly live by, whether they realize it or not, and they do, the law of free will and all these universal laws. And the beauty with universal law is it works for you every time. And then people will argue that and say, well, this happened, and this happened. It's like, yes, because it's working with you, because that is your state of being. That is your point of attraction. Be angry, get more angry people in your life. Your state of being, when you realize that, ooh, I'm angry right now, you have the choice. You either stay on that emotion or you climb the next rung up the ladder, the feel-good ladder. It's pretty simple, but we justify it. Well, so-and-so said this, or so-and-so said that, and we become their crap. We become that icky statement. We become offended. It's just words until you put meaning behind the words, until you put meaning or attach it to that person. Now you've got a line of energy, icky energy, between you and the other person. We're all connected.
Yes, we are. It's all a full circle web. And I always feel what you put out to the world, that's what you will attract back in. And if you're always angry and complaining and not thinking of being thankful and grateful, that's exactly what comes back to you. So at least that's an experience that I've had. So it's good to share so our listeners can know that these feelings they have and how to best deal with them. And I am so much into just going into that quiet space, and you will just be totally amazed how your inner self can help find those answers. And it's all within inside of you. If you just
Yes.
shut down that noisy chaos that is in the outside world and go inside, it's amazing what the heart space can do for you.
Yep. And the noisy chaos we invite in, or the noisy chaos one can create,
Uh-huh.
in their own mind. And I was really good at that. So I learned a lot by going down the rabbit hole again. And I'm thankful that I went down the rabbit hole again, because there's a difference now. I came out of it and didn't beat myself up for going back down again. I did in
Exactly.
the beginning, but
Yeah.
now I've accepted it. And it's like, you are so done with that paradigm, just done with it.
Yeah. It's time to move away from that paradigm. It has more than served its purpose, and it's time to go away with it. Let them,
Yes.
I've so much heard, let them old paradigms go. They need to be part of your past. They were stepping stones to help you to get where you are today. But now it's time to release them old paradigms. And it's so true. It's so true, because I also feel you stay in that victim state when you hold on a lot of times to those paradigms and think, why did this happen? What's going on here? Why am I always the victim? And that's what you become then. But when you start to
Yes.
release all that, you'll let go of that victimizing that wants to overtake you from the chaotic world.
Yes. 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 And I
And
wanted to go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
This was off topic because before we came on, I felt something brush up against my leg, and the first thought came to mind was my rat terrier, or not rat terrier, my Jack Russell Terrier, Buddy, who has transitioned. And I thought, oh, Buddy just adores Joyce. And I just felt like that all my animals that have transitioned were just like, okay, we're here today.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
good. We like Joyce.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Because yes, I feel them too. They're always around me on my shows, because I ask them, I say, help me to do this show. And they say, we're already here. And so many times I just feel them all around me all the time, I should say, because I know they're always there. So, oh, that was beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Anne.
Well,
And
it's one of those things where, I've had to take the animal to the final resting place, and I always feel guilty about it. And Spirit has attempted to open me up and say that it was a gift. And that
yeah,
has been really a hard pill for me to swallow, that it was a gift
yeah.
that I gave them. And
Yes.
it just, yeah.
Oh, I hear you. Well, and I knew this show would go so very quickly, like it always does when you and I chat. I always love every minute of it. And I would love to have you return again. If we had talked before the show on doing a monthly show and sharing with our listeners all the knowledge that you have inside of you and just bringing it out. Just like today, both of us came and we both were like, okay, what shall we chat about today? And it was like, it just came to us. And I feel that's because we were in our heart space and our angelic spirit world was right there with us. And they were saying, this is what the world needs to hear today. So
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah,
to
we're
have you
never
return.
alone. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then please share with our listeners the best ways to connect with you, Anne.
You can connect with me on my website, and that's annclossing.com. So AnnKlossing.com. And in there, there's ways to connect with me through my email, and that is ann@annclossing.com. And what other ways? Oh, Facebook. Forget about my social media, because that was one thing during this whole health crisis that I had set aside for a while, was my social
Uh-huh.
media. So just my name, Ann Klossing, is my profile. And then I also, on my profile, you'll see the Facebook group, and it is We Conversations with the Infinite. And that is a public group as well. It's by invitation. So just click the link and I'll let you in. And if you want to put, if you're new to me, just put robust living in your message and I'll know them. So it's perfect.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anne. And I want to wish you and all your family, animal families and your regular family, because you just became a new grandma, and congratulations on that too.
Did. Yes, I just got a 1 week picture of Jordy Robert Esser and
Oh,
a short message. She said she was going to call me and then she never did. I can only imagine, but probably at least another 3 weeks in the neonatal ICU. So he's doing great. He's basically living on his own through
awesome.
feeding tube. And then I think they're going to start to try and see if he'll nurse. So exciting times with Jordy Robert.
Yes. Oh, definitely. And so congratulations. And I want to wish magic to you and to all your families as in each and every day until you and I connect again on Robust Lifestyle Show.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this magical, magical show. And please share this show with all your family and friends and let them hear the beautiful words that Ann Klossing has to share with the universe. And check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. And remember some of the tips she gave us to acknowledge and be aware of those emotions and do it without judgment. And you are a seasoned woman. So many of us are. And the soul is shaking you. And remember to go to your heart space. And with that, I want to wish everyone a magical, magical day. Remember, be kind to all, including your animal families, and give your animals a great big extra hug and share all your love with them as they so deserve it. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.